All right, you magnificent bastards. Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah, welcome.
If you're here for some fluffy analysis of a feel-good movie, you've taken a profoundly wrong turn.
Definitely the wrong place for us.
Today, we are strapping in and going straight into the gutter of supernatural horror, specifically Ben Leonberg's directorial debut, Good Boy. Supernatural Canine Loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a sensitive soul or you care about, proper vocabulary, you're in the wrong damn place.
Seriously.
This is an 18-plus deep dive into a movie that is, frankly, profoundly fucked up.
And we mean profoundly. This film takes every assumption you have about the dog-owner bond, purest, most unconditional love.
Right.
And it just twists it into this rusty, horrifying knife, applying it to a generational curse narrative. It's brutal.
And let me be absolutely crystal clear before we go any further. We are spoiling this motherfucker from start to finish.
Full spoilers ahead, no holding back.
We are going through every gut punch, every moment of supernatural terror, and every single tragic plot twist in explicit detail.
Yeah. Start to finish.
If you haven't seen it and you give a shit about how the plot resolves, turn this off right now. Seriously, you've been warned.
You really have. Don't say we didn't tell you.
Let's cut the crap. Our mission today is to really dig into how this film weaponizes loyalty, how it uses the dog's perspective, Indy's perspective, to show how inherited sickness and, frankly, denial open the door to these ancient evils.
Evils that want to claim not just the body, but the soul, too.
Exactly.
The blend here is staggering. You've got this heart-wrenching, visceral drama, the physical breakdown of Todd, but then layered with these genuinely eerie supernatural visions. It's intense.
It really is.
This story is fundamentally about how loyalty becomes, almost a liability when you're facing this kind of trauma.
Yeah.
And how the physically and emotionally sick become the most vulnerable vessels for something ancient and just malicious.
We definitely need to look closely at the technical stuff, too. The sound design, the production design, how they amplify this feeling of just inevitable doom.
Totally. It all works together to make you feel trapped.
Okay, let's unpack this opening scene because it doesn't ease you in at all. It just throws you immediately into chaos and dread.
Right off the bat. No warning.
We're in this shadowy, creaking house at night. Todd, Shane Jensen plays him. He's convulsing. His chronic lung disease is hitting a breaking point, and we get that disgusting, visceral detail. Blood bubbling from his mouth.
Oh, yeah. Thick, dark rivulets. It's rough to watch.
In Indy, the Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever, he's just pawing anxiously, whining, trying to help his owner.
That opening is brutal, but it's also, a brilliant misdirect.
How so?
Well, while you, the viewer, are totally focused on the physical horror, Todd might literally die right now from his illness.
Yeah, that's the immediate threat.
Right, but the supernatural undercurrent is already there. Indy doesn't just panic at the seizure. His ears twitch first. He hears these faint, unnatural whispers, sounds that, a human wouldn't hear over Todd's gasping.
Oh, okay, so Indy's picking up on something else.
Exactly. His panic isn't just about his owner collapsing. His point of view, it kind of blurs with this statusy fear, hinting that this isn't just a medical emergency. It feels like some supernatural unrest either triggered it or at least accelerated the physical breakdown.
Absolutely. We have to talk about the sound mixing here. It's genius. You get that raw, wet, terrifying sound of Todd's cough and the blood.
It's awful.
Right up against this dry, unnatural, almost electrical static sound of the entity's whispers.
It's a battle right there in the audio. Human decay versus something primal, otherworldly.
Yeah. It immediately tells you the environment itself is hostile. The very air is wrong.
And then, boom, they hit us with that quick-cut montage. It's almost sickeningly sweet after the horror we just saw.
Totally. Sunny, adorable puppy Indy running around a sunlit yard, establishing that unbreakable bond that's the core of the whole damn film.
But then it cuts straight to the sterile, depressing hospital. Todd, pale, oxygen masked. It's the ultimate contrast.
Pure happiness versus inescapable clinical doom.
Wow.
Exactly. Sets the stakes. I gotta question the sheer melodrama in the hospital, though. Vera, his sister Ariel Friedman, she's practically begging him, you need rest. Not adventures. You need professional care. He's clearly not fit to leave.
No, he absolutely isn't.
It seems a bit much, almost forced.
But see, I think Todd waving her off with that weak, defiant smile, it's rooted in denial. Deep denial.
Okay.
He's clinging to Indy, clinging to this idea of independence, rejecting the reality that he's basically an invalid who needs hospice care.
So the trip isn't about getting better.
No way. The adventure to the upstate house? It's about control. It's about rejecting his own physical weakness. He's setting himself up for spectacular failure by ignoring Vera, the rational voice, and the curse. It knows that defiance, that denial is exactly the crack it needs to get in.
Shit. Okay, that makes sense. He's basically inviting disaster.
Pretty much. And Indy, bless his heart, even as they're leaving the hospital, he glances back, he sees the shadows in the corridor, and you get the sense he knows something is following them.
Ooh, yeah. Nice touch. That's effective foreshadowing. This curse isn't just tied to the house. It travels with the victim, with the bloodline, the sickness itself.
It's attached.
Yeah.
Which leads us directly to the house. And man, that house is immediately established as a character, a really fucked up character.
Oh, yeah. It needs its own analysis for sure. The drive through those foggy upstate New York woods.
Yeah.
Classic ominous horror visuals.
Textbook. To this dilapidated Victorian house surrounded by dense, overgrown forest, and there's a private family cemetery right there. Just hammering home that this is about inherited dread, generational shit.
Let's talk production design for a sec. Why a Victorian?
Well, think about it. Victorians were obsessed with death, with tuberculosis, consumption, with preserving the past, even the morbid parts.
True. Seances, mourning jewelry.
Exactly. And the specific decay of this house, the flaking paint, the damp rot, it perfectly mirrors the inherited crumbling health of the family line. Todd's internal lung decay is reflected in the external decay of the house.
That's brilliant. Wow, okay.
Yeah, and Todd starts coughing, like violently, the second he parks the car. He hasn't even gotten out yet.
And Vera calls, right. Clearly pissed off.
Oh yeah, you hear her voicemail. "This is insane, Todd, you're not ready," and he just dismisses her. Snaps back, "I need space, Vera, for me and Indy." Curt, aggressive.
Pushing away his only support system.
Because the curse needs him isolated, vulnerable, denying reality. Isolation is critical for this entity.
And let's cut the crap. This house is obviously cursed from the jump. Indy knows it. He balks right at the threshold, hackles up, growling at something unseen.
He senses the evil before he even steps foot inside. Even when Todd coaxes him in with treats, "Come on, good boy, it's just an old house." Indy is super wary. He freezes at the basement stairs.
Yeah, what happens there?
Where you see this fleeting, muddy silhouette just vanish. Gone.
Muddy. Okay, that's specific.
That silhouette, I think, is our first concrete sign of the entity's physical nature. It's muddy, earthy, tied to the physical land, the foundation of the house.
So like a land curse as much as a family curse?
Exactly. And it waits at the entry point to the deepest, darkest, most secluded part of the house, the cellar. The house isn't just haunted, it's contaminated at its core. The entity seems almost made of the very earth it stands on.
It sets the stage brilliantly, doesn't it?
Oh.
You're physically sick, you're emotionally isolated, you've pushed away help, and your only protector, the dog, has just realized that the ground beneath your feet is actively hostile.
Yeah. What a profoundly fucked up starting position. There's almost no hope from frame one.
So Todd immediately tries to find comfort in the past, right? Which leads us to those grainy 8mm reels.
Yeah, the home movies. A vital tool for laying down the lore, the backstory.
Yeah.
We meet the grandfather, played by Larry Fessenden. Fantastic casting.
Always great to see Fessenden.
And initially, it's all supposed to be warm and fuzzy. Fetch, Bandit, good boy. You see this happy man playing with his dog?
But that warmth is totally deceptive, isn't it? It just sets out how deep the betrayal goes later.
Absolutely. The switch is swift and dark. The clips suddenly show the grandfather having these hacking coughs, identical to Todd's. You see him gripping his side, leaning against a tree, trying to smile for the camera, but clearly struggling.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It establishes the curse as familial, generational, and specifically respiratory. It's not just a haunted house, it's this inherited sickness drawing in the supernatural. A terrifying visual of history repeating itself perfectly.
And while Todd is watching this, like, historical horror show unfold, what's Indy doing?
Indy is whining. He senses the distress, even across decades. The screen flickers with static, and then we get this spectral image. A translucent Bandit, the grandfather's dog, overlaid on the screen, watching from the tree line in the film.
Whoa. Okay, so the ghost dog is involved right away. No ambiguity.
None. Bandit is clearly a victim, probably a warning, and likely tethered to the house because his loyalty kept him there. Just like Indy's loyalty is now keeping him in danger, it confirms the ghost dog is part of this bullshit.
That raises a fascinating point, though, about the entity. Why would the entity allow Bandit's ghost to warn Indy? Or is he warning him?
That's a good question. Maybe Bandit isn't trying to save them. Maybe his lingering protective energy, his loyalty, is actually subconsciously tethering the curse to the house, keeping the cycle going.
Oh, fuck. Like loyalty becomes the anchor for the evil.
Exactly. Loyalty turned into a prison sentence, preventing you from leaving the place where your human died. It's a fucked up thought.
It really is. And this whole atmosphere of dread just gets compounded by Richard, the eccentric neighbor.
Oh, God, Richard. Yeah. Todd's on this early morning hike through the cemetery.
Symbolism alert. Literally walking through his family's history of death.
Nailed it. And Richard just emerges suddenly from the fog, disheveled, wearing this black rain slicker. Stuart Rudin plays him, and he's immediately unsettling.
Yeah, my first thought is, who the hell are you, and what do you want?
Right. And he immediately drops this chilling exposition, a narrative bombshell. He reveals he found the grandfather's body years ago, slumped in the cellar.
Okay, confirms the location of death.
But then he adds that his dog, Bandit, vanished into the woods, never came back.
That phrase, never came back.
Oh.
Sounds suspicious, doesn't it? Like, too clean.
Very suspicious. It immediately raises the stakes for Indy, confirming this lineage of canine tragedy. The pet either dies horribly in the house or disappears mysteriously into the woods, never offers comfort again.
So the dog always suffers.
Seems like it. And then Richard issues that genuinely sinister warning about his fox traps. Snapping jaws everywhere. Keep your mutt close.
Richard is a total piece of shit. He knows the history of tragedy there. He acts like this weird antagonist, and he sets up the potential for physical pain in the woods where Indy will eventually run. Come on.
It's just layering on the threats. But what's fascinating is Indy's reaction. He barks fiercely at Richard as he walks away. He senses pure malice.
So, does Richard know more? Does he know about the curse? Maybe how Bandit really died? Or is he just a creepy asshole who likes setting painful traps near a house with a tragic history?
I think the film purposefully leaves his exact role ambiguous. He represents that external, mundane cruelty that often works hand in glove with supernatural evil.
Like the world outside the curse is shitty too.
Exactly. The house is killing Todd supernaturally, but Richard's traps are waiting to physically torture Indy. It's this duality of pain. Mundane cruelty meets ancient evil.
Indy's instinct is spot on, though, because later, at midnight, we get the dogs working together
Right.
across time.
Yeah, it's a great sequence. Indy is led by Bandit's translucent spirit to a loose floorboard in the grandfather's old room.
2 generations of loyal dogs communicating across the veil, trying to save their humans by revealing the truth.
It's touching, but also terrifying. And the discovery. Indy paws at the board, gets it loose, and finds this faded, blood-stained bandana tucked underneath.
Whoa. Okay, not just spooky, tangible evidence. Forensic evidence of past horror, implying a violent, bloody end right there in the house.
And touching it is the key. It triggers a vision.
And the vision is profoundly fucked up.
Yeah.
Pure cinematic genius, but awful.
Describe it. It's chilling.
We get the entity manifesting more clearly. A monstrous, mud-caked hand linking it to the physical ground again. The land curse.
Yeah, the mud.
It erupts from a closet, claws scraping wood. And then the auditory horror kicks in. These guttural whispers, chanting, slow and deliberate. Good boy.
Fuck that. Seriously, fuck that. Using the term of endearment, the symbol of loyalty and trust between Todd and Indy, as the entity's calling card.
It's genius and utterly sickening.
It implies the entity is mimicking the very thing Todd cherishes most, specifically to break him down. It's psychological warfare.
It's not just a physical monster.
No, it's a psychological tormentor. It knows how to corrupt love, how to weaponize affection. The curse isn't just killing the host, it's corrupting the entire environment, turning symbols of love into instruments of terror. You hear the house groaning around them like it's a living, hungry beast.
If the entity is chanting good boy, it means it doesn't just want to kill Todd. It wants to sever that bond first, make the death meaningless, make the soul easier to claim.
It's horrifying, absolutely horrifying.
Okay, so this is where the film really stops messing around and just becomes this heartbreaking psychological horror, completely intertwined with Todd's physical breakdown.
Yeah, the decline accelerates rapidly after they find the bandana and understand the history. We see the violent, constant coughs getting worse, the alarming blood flecks on the handkerchief become more frequent, darker.
He's becoming totally bedridden, completely vulnerable, and rapidly losing his grasp on reality.
And this is the moment the house, the curse, successfully drives that wedge between them.
Ugh, it's so hard to watch. Indy, still loyal, still trying to comfort him, nuzzles close, licks his hand.
Doing what good dogs do.
And Todd just lashes out. In delirium, his eyes wide with fever and fear. Get off me, you damn dog.
Crushing. That is the crucial turning point. Indy just heartbroken, retreats to the hall, tail tucked.
It signals the curse achieving its most important immediate goal. isolating the host by poisoning his mind against his most loyal companion.
Absolutely. The entity needed that emotional distance. The physical illness made Todd vulnerable, sure, but the isolation makes him claimable. We see Todd's descent shift from just physical suffering to active madness.
It is terrible to watch. And Indy is suffering too, isn't he? He's having nightmares.
Yeah, this recurring, terrifying nightmare. The mossy graves in the family cemetery outside, they crack open. This dark entity shambles towards him, eyes like black pits.
So the entity is attacking the dog psychologically too.
I think so. The nightmare isn't just a side effect of the stress. It feels like the entity actively communicating its intent to the dog. It's psychological warfare against Indy's loyalty, maybe trying to break his spirit so he abandons Todd, or at least preparing him for the inevitable loss.
God, that's bleak. And Todd's behavior, meanwhile, just goes from sick to genuinely scary horror movie shit.
Totally. We see him rhythmically banging his head against the bedroom wall, just thud, 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 mumbling these garbled prayers.
Like he's trying to exercise it? Or just losing his mind?
Maybe both. Trying to expel the horror, the sickness, the fear through sheer repetition. But he's just descending deeper into madness and spiritual despair, wasting the precious little time he has left.
And all the while, he's ignoring reality, pushing away help. Vera's voicemails are piling up. You hear her voice getting more desperate. She's worried sick.
And Todd just deletes them curtly, often while he's shaking or coughing. I'm handling it, sis. Back off.
Fucking Todd, why are you so stupid? Vera's trying to save your ass. Or at least offer some comfort. It's infuriating to watch him shut her out.
Well, this isolation starts self-imposed, right? His denial. But it's powerfully amplified by the sickness and by the curse that demands the victim be utterly alone when the final strike comes.
Let's debate that for a sec. Do you think the entity needed the isolation, like, as a requirement? Or did Todd want to be isolated because the illness made him feel ashamed, like a burden? Which came first, the curse demanding isolation or the denial creating it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I lean towards the denial being the primary weakness the curse targeted. He inherits the illness that's the physical gateway, the vulnerability, but his emotional fragility, his pride, his denial about needing help, that's the open door.
So the curse exploits the denial.
Yeah. The curse uses the denial to push away Vera. Then it uses the paranoia, amplified by the fever and the sickness, to push away Indy. It's a two-step process of complete severance. The entity knows physical pain won't break Indy's loyalty, but emotional rejection from Todd, that just might.
Shit, that makes sense. It's attacking the bond directly.
Exactly. And that dream sequence reinforces this theme of inherited failure, inherited weakness.
Which one?
Upstairs, the grandfather is slumped in his armchair in the vision, coughing these crimson arcs of blood, and his face visually melts into Todd's face.
Oh, wow.
And Bandit's ghost howls silently in the background. Then this disembodied voice echoes, "The house takes what's weak."
So the curse doesn't care about good or bad, just weakness.
Precisely. It preys on inherited illness and emotional vulnerability. It needs a weak vessel, physically and mentally. And Todd is now providing both in spades. He's checking all the boxes for the curse.
And then we get that external confirmation of doom, grounding the supernatural threat back in tangible medical terror.
The scene in the clawfoot tub,
Yeah.
that brief, fragile moment of calm where he's gently scrubbing Indy,
Yeah, a little moment of peace.
shattered immediately. Todd seizes violently, eyes roll back, blood sprays the white tiles. It's horrific.
Takes your breath away.
The subsequent ER visit is just the stark clinical reality check. It confirms what we already knew intuitively, but healing it is brutal.
The doctor lays it out right. No sugarcoating.
None. Your lungs. It's end-stage fibrosis. No treatments left. Hospice at best.
The film uses this definitive medical verdict to basically say Todd's body is already lost. There's no physical way out.
Which makes the supernatural fight even more desperate. He literally has nothing left to lose but his soul.
Exactly. So he goes back to the house to die, or more accurately, to be claimed. And then the final breakdown of trust. That storm-ravaged night, rain lashing the windows, wind screaming.
Perfect horror atmosphere. And Indy spots the entity outside. A hulking, dripping shadow peering in the window, breath fogging the glass. The threat is right there, immediate, physical.
And Indy does what any loyal dog would do. He tries to protect Todd, growling, snapping at the window, trying to ward it off.
But Todd, he's so deep in fevered paranoia, coupled with the knowledge that he's dying. He mistakes Indy's protective growls for aggression. Or maybe just confuses it with the sounds of the storm.
And he clutches Indy too tight.
Right.
Restrains him.
Yeah, he physically prevents the dog from guarding against the external threat. Indy, desperate, panicked, probably can't breathe properly, and he knows the danger is right outside. He has to bite Todd's hand to break free, draws blood.
Oh, God, that moment is just agonizing to watch.
Yeah.
Because you know what's coming.
Yep. Todd's reaction, bad dog, traitor, and he shoves Indy away.
Calling him a traitor, the worst possible thing you can say to a dog. The ultimate insult, the final breach of that sacred bond.
Fuck that. Seriously, fuck Todd in that moment. I have to jump in here. Indy's action was necessary. For his own survival and potentially Todd's. He wasn't betraying him?
No, he was reacting instinctively.
Exactly. Reacting to being restrained by a delusional sick man while a goddamn monster is staring through the window. But for Todd, driven by the curse, the fever, his own fear, that bite is the final unforgivable breach. The ultimate emotional weakness the entity needed.
That's when the entity won the psychological war.
Precisely at that moment. When Todd broke the sacred trust, called his protector a traitor, the entity got what it wanted.
And Indy, rejected, maybe locked out, shimmies through an open window, bolts into the thunderous woods, heading towards Richard's distant porch light.
It's a desperate, almost irrational attempt to find help. Any help, anywhere outside the poison sphere of that house. He's injured, alone, emotionally shattered, but his primal directive kicks in. Seek aid. Find someone.
But he's running right towards more danger. Yeah, the consequences of Indy bolting for freedom are immediate, devastating, and just brutally physical. He's running blindly into the storm, into the woods, trying to find sanity or help.
And inevitably, he runs right into Richard's negligence, Richard's bullshit.
A rusted trap snaps shut on his paw.
Oh, the sound design there. That wet final thunk of the jaws closing on bone. It's sickening.
Jaws clamping, bone, blood pooling in the mud. This is just pure, visceral, unnecessary bullshit horror. It serves no plot purpose other than to inflict pain.
Well, I'd argue it serves the purpose of showing the cruelest irony. Richard, the guy who vaguely warned Todd, placed the very traps that injure the only creature actually trying to save Todd.
Okay, fair point. The irony is thick.
And Indy dragging himself, whimpering, his vision tunneling from the sheer physical agony, while he hears the entity's distant, thundering laughter through the trees.
The entity is laughing.
It's almost like it's enjoying the physical suffering of the loyal dog. The fact that the dog suffers physical agony outside the house, while the man suffers supernatural agony inside, it just underscores the film's theme. No part of their lives is safe. Nowhere is safe.
I was totally pissed off at Richard and just the general cruelty of the situation. It taps into that primal fear for any dog owner, the threat of mundane, senseless injury crippling your companion. If I ever saw a trap like that near my place.
Oh, I know. You'd lose your mind.
The scene is deliberately protracted, too. They make us feel every twitch of pain, reminding us that the physical world is just as hostile as the supernatural one when you're dealing with this kind of localized evil. It's just pain on top of pain.
Dawn arrives, finally. But it brings temporary cruelty from Todd first. He finds the limping Indy somehow back near the house.
And instead of helping him,
he hauls him back inside, his own bandaged hand throbbing from the bite, and chains Indy to the weathered doghouse outside. You bite me. Stay out here, Mutt.
Oh, come on, Mutt. After everything.
It's the final, unforgivable human act of rejection, driven by illness, paranoia, maybe even the curse influencing him directly now. It is the absolute worst punishment for a loyal dog. Forced isolation and exile, especially when injured.
But the isolation doesn't work, does it? The loyalty is too strong.
Nope. Indy, chained, injured, probably in agony, senses the entity inside the house. He sees shadows writhing behind the windows, feels the house vibrating with malevolence. That sense of duty, that bond, it overrides the immense physical pain, the exhaustion, the emotional rejection he just endured.
He knows Todd is in mortal danger.
The surge of adrenaline is fantastic. Indy's primal loyalty just takes over. We watch him ramming the chain against the doghouse post again and again, grunting with effort until he snaps the rusted iron free.
Yes. Go, Indy.
Then he bolts indoors via the cellar door, limping badly, barking hoarsely. He knows the danger is peaking, and he has to go back in, injured paw and emotional pain be damned. This is just pure, unadulterated loyalty in action. It's incredible.
Which leads him to the cellar revelation, right? Connecting all the threads just before the climax.
Exactly. His nose leads him to a dark corner amidst cobwebs and crates. Bandit's skeleton, collar still intact, bones gnawed clean.
Oh, God. So Richard lied, or didn't know. Bandit didn't vanish.
He did not vanish into the woods. He was taken, killed, consumed by the entity right there in the cellar, the heart of the curse. The gnawed bones prove it wasn't just death, it was violent consumption.
That discovery is crucial for Indy, isn't it? For his final actions.
Absolutely. He understands exactly what the cost of staying in that house is. He sees what his grandfather's dog endured. He knows he's facing the same fate, the same enemy, but he runs upstairs anyway. Loyalty trumps fear.
And then the climax. Upstairs, Todd is lying completely still, eyes glassy. He's succumbed to the physical illness.
Indy arrives too late to save the body, but maybe not the soul.
Indy's point of view shifts, becomes kind of ethereal, dreamlike, and Todd's spirit rises from his body, looking horrified at his own empty husk on the bed.
And the entity manifests fully, finally see it clearly, towering, mud-slick abomination, terrifyingly elongated limbs, the culmination of the sickness, the land curse, the house itself come to claim its prize. The mud motif is key, the physical curse taking the spiritual result.
It immediately grabs Todd's ghost, right?
Yeah.
These vaporous, muddy tendrils wrap around him.
Yep. And Indy charges, bites desperately at the tendrils, trying to pull Todd free, but he realizes it's futile. It's an ethereal battle. The physical dog cannot win this fight. He's fighting for a soul, not a body, and his teeth are useless against the supernatural.
Todd realizes it too, doesn't he? That Indy can't save him, but maybe saved himself.
Yeah. Todd's final heartbreaking acceptance is just devastating. He pauses, even as he's being pulled away, kneels, looks at Indy, acknowledges his dog's sacrifice, his pure effort. Go, Indy, you're a good boy, the best.
Oh man, that line just kills you.
It's his final act of true love. It directly contradicts the traitor comment from earlier, restores the bond in the very last second, and gives Indy permission to save himself. It's a moment of grace amidst the horror.
And the visual detail that seals the deal, that sticks with you.
Ugh, yeah. The skin sloughing off Todd's corpse on the bed like melted wax as the entity hauls the spirit down, presumably towards the cellar, into the abyss, and the cellar door slams shut, sealing the deal.
It is so visually striking and just emotionally devastating. The dog tried so hard, but couldn't save him from the curse because the physical illness had already won the battle for the body.
It's profoundly messed up. The only thing Indy could ultimately save was the memory of their love and his own life.
The resolution after that intensity is quiet, but just heavy with grief and lingering fear. Morning mist settles. Vera's car crunches on the gravel.
The sound of external reality arriving, sanity, but too late for Todd.
She bursts in, finds Todd's body, collapses and sobs. She's the lifeline, the way out, the connection to the normal world.
Eventually she finds Indy, spots him down in the cellar, huddled by Bandit's skeleton.
What a stark image. The faithful dog, injured, exhausted, guarding the bones of the faithful dog who came before him. The legacy of doomed loyalty.
Vera calls him, gently, "Come here, boy, let's go home."
Offers some escape.
But the curse isn't quite done yet, is it? The entity makes one last psychological play.
Yeah, they throw in that faint whistle, Todd's old familiar signal. Trying to tempt Indy to stay, trying to lure him back, or maybe keep the curse tethered to a living, loyal being now that Todd is gone.
Using the pure, loved voice of the person he just lost to trick him. That's just evil, low blow.
Indy hesitates. You see it in his eyes, his ears twitching. He recognizes the sound. The conflict is visible. Stay with the ghost of his master or go with the living.
But he chooses Vera. He trots to her, limping, nuzzles her tear-streaked face. They drive away.
And that's the theme payoff, right? Loyalty ultimately means survival of the survivor, not necessarily preventing the inevitable tragedy. Indy fulfilled his loyalty to the person Todd by ensuring Todd's sister, the next generation, the remaining family is safe. He chose the living link over guarding the haunted, cursed ground.
But they don't let us off easy. That final shot, simple but haunting. As the house recedes in the rearview mirror, Indy's ear twitches. He hears a final, distant bark.
Is it Bandit? Is it the entity mimicking a bark?
We don't know. It just suggests the curse still operates. Maybe waiting for the next victim in the lineage, maybe content for now. It leaves you with this profound, cold chill. The cycle isn't necessarily broken. The evil lingers.
And then we get the meta-horror, the behind-the-scenes commentary over the credits, which is honestly the most fucked up kind of marketing bullshit, but damn, it's effective.
Totally effective. Director Ben Leonberg is Indy's real-life owner. That fact alone adds a layer.
And he praises the untrained dog's instinctive terror during filming. Notes that Indy genuinely sensed and mirrored his stress during the grueling shoots, acting without specific training for fear reactions.
Which just elevates the whole experience into something genuinely unsettling. You realize you were watching a real dog, the director's beloved pet, performing genuine anxiety and fear on set.
It forces you to question the ethics, right? Harnessing genuine animal fear for a performance. Even if the director insists the dog was always safe and loved, it feels weird.
It does feel weird. It adds this layer of fucked up reality to the horror you just watched.
And the ultimate meta chill the director throws in at the end.
Oh, yeah. During one of those grueling shoots, filming a particularly tense scene, apparently the director and Indy suddenly turned, simultaneously, at an unexplained creak in the house. Shadows lengthening unnaturally in a part of the set they hadn't rigged with lights.
The implication being...
The implication being the curse, the entity, whatever it was in the film, it was real. It bled into the production itself.
Which is either brilliant, calculated horror movie marketing,
or the director truly experienced something unsettling that mirrored his own script. Either way, it's effective as hell. It makes you question what they caught on camera that wasn't acting.
It compounds the dread long after the credits roll. Like the house takes what's weak, and maybe it found a way to follow them right out of the screen. Chilling thought. Hashtag outro.
So let's wrap this up. We've covered the core themes. Fierce, unwavering loyalty pushed to its absolute limit.
Yeah.
The inescapable burden of inherited curses, inherited sickness, and the horrifying deterioration where physical illness makes us profoundly vulnerable to older, supernatural evils.
The sickness is the doorway, basically. Allows the supernatural to get its hooks in. But that breach of the bond, that final moment of betrayal when Todd calls Indy a traitor, maybe that's what really seals the contract.
Could be. The emotional wound opens the final door.
Now we throw it to you listening. This film is just a sustained exercise in emotional battery. It's rough. What stood out to you most?
Was it the visceral physical horror, Todd's seizures, the blood flecks, the sheer decay?
Or the psychological breakdown? Todd's delirium, calling Indy a traitor?
Or was it the raw, desperate, injured loyalty of Indy, fighting a ghost with his teeth, refusing to give up even after being rejected and hurt?
Yeah, what hit you hardest?
And this raises one last important question for you to mull over. Try to sleep with this one tonight. If the house takes what is weak, and the cough, the illness, is passed down through the family, what specific weakness did the entity exploit in Todd's final moments to seal the deal?
Good question.
Was it simply his inevitable physical collapse? The end-stage fibrosis meant his time was just up anyway, curse or no curse?
Or was the entity truly waiting for that emotional breach? That final isolation confirmed by the cruel rejection of his dog, calling him a traitor. Was that breach of the purest bond, the ultimate surrender, the entity required to claim his soul?
Which was the final nail, physical death or spiritual betrayal.
Think about that. Was the ultimate tragedy that Todd broke that sacred bond right before his death?
Yeah.
That he betrayed the purest thing in his life just as his soul was being claimed?
A profoundly fucked up final thought to chew on.
Definitely is. Go explore the source material yourselves. Maybe watch the movie if you think you can handle it. Or don't, because honestly, it sounds like a total gut punch.
Yeah, viewer discretion is heavily advised.
We're done with this deep dive. Peace out, you magnificent bastards.